FYI, we are going to be recording this. Okay, so I need to ask for consent to do that. You will generally not be on the screen. I'll be on the screen, so don't worry. And if you've got anything for me, leave it in the comments there. If you have suggestions for times for this class, I know that, maybe this is normally when we practice together, but with everything being really weird, maybe, another time would be better. So you can leave that in the comments, as well as any suggestions or other things that come up while we're practicing together. All right, trying to get my screen to unfreeze. It likes to do that for some reason. Okay, now it's back. All right, so I'm not sure if we've got more people joining us, but hopefully Leanne can let them in if they try joining and I'm in the middle of, say, a sun salutation or something like that. Welcome to my bedroom. I thought we'd start with a little bit of mantra practice or chanting practice like we normally do in my classes. Let me see here. All right. All right. This is Laura. I can improve. Whoops. Laura can improve people. Is that what you said? Okay, cool. All right, very good. So yeah, let's start with a little bit of chanting. And I want you guys to let me know if for some reason you can't hear me. I'll be trying to speak up. If you hear loud noises, those are my downstairs neighbors. And sometimes they make loud noises, so that is a distinct possibility of something that's going to happen or could happen while we're here. So I'm going to move a little closer while people are still coming. Sounds good so far. Okay, great. So we're going to start with the pranava as we normally do, which is just chanting Om together. And as I always say, you don't have to join in unless you want to, but I do recommend that you do because it's good for you. So I'm going to chant it 3 times, and you're welcome to join me there at home. Namaste. All right. So, if you're not already on your mat, you might want to make your way onto your mat at this time. And as usual, I'd like to invite you to just go ahead and close your eyes. Sit tall. Find a relatively comfortable seat for yourself. And just begin to notice what's going on inside. Yoga is about what's going on inside of us. And eventually, when we go deep enough inside, we realize that really it's the inside that dictates what happens outside, which is the opposite of what the conventional viewpoint is. And that's because the conventional viewpoint is the egoic viewpoint. And the ego generally turns everything upside down, almost perfectly upside down. So most of the things we conventionally think are the opposite of what spirit, the way spirit experiences and views things. So the inside dictates the outside. So the yogi wants to go inside. And ultimately, everything that we do in yoga is to help us do that. It's an aid to doing that. So even what I'm asking you to do right now, to sit tall, to close your eyes, notice what you feel. It's been a pretty crazy week. I didn't think this is how I would be spending my week last week. So I imagine the same is true for a lot of you, that things evolved and changed very rapidly toward the end of last week and over the weekend. We got a lot of information, and so a lot of changes have happened. And the ego doesn't like change. Ego doesn't like change. So again, one of the things that we notice is if we're feeling really upset, if we're feeling really scared, fearful, again, it doesn't mean we're a bad person. It does mean that we've got some work to do from the yogic perspective. And that's why we're here. So it's nothing to feel guilty or bad about, but it is something to notice. Did this change, right? Unexpected change, did that cause a lot of turmoil in my heart and in my mind? Am I really distraught now? And if I am, then there's a good chance that I'm strongly identified with that egoic viewpoint. And again, to sum it up, like I said from the beginning, the egoic viewpoint, the outside dictates how I feel inside. The outside is going to dictate how I feel inside. If I can make a lot of money outside, then I feel happy inside. If I can find someone who says that they love me outside, then I feel love inside. Now, again, there's nothing evil or bad about thinking that way, but it just isn't the way that we want to look at it from a yogic perspective. So all of this is to bring us inside, and that's what I'm asking you to do right now. You're just noticing how you feel inside. Now, earlier today, I posted a relatively brief, it was a 20-minute discourse on Dirga, and that's what we're going to do now. So if you want a more in-depth practice of Dirga, three-part breathing, then go check that out. It's free. It's on Facebook and my Patreon page. But we're going to do a version of it now. So sitting nice and tall as you inhale, fill your belly with breath. And then draw that up into the ribs. Feel the ribs begin to expand. And then all the way up until you feel the clavicle lift up a little bit. And then as you exhale, you just reverse that. And as I said today, as I was giving the instructions, nose straining. This is one of, I think, this is my opinion, but this is one of the most common mistakes that are made when teaching pranayams today, is people push too hard. Prana is the subtle body. Okay, so it's not about, jamming something through. It's about relaxing and letting things flow. And if we have a lot of tension, then things aren't going to flow. Now, there are some times where we do locks. We intentionally create tension to divert or move the energy. That's different. But for this, we want a flow, smooth flow, free of tension. If anything, each breath should make us feel less tense, more relaxed, more at ease. All right, I'm not going to be playing any music, so if you have some kind of music that you want to put on, I personally like just the silence, if possible. but you do whatever that you need to do. So if you want a little bit of music in the background, just make sure that you can hear me over that music. We're going to move now into a tabletop position. Okay, so we're coming forward into tabletop, and we'll just begin cat-cow, warming up our spine. So inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head comes up. Exhale, tailbone tucks, back rounds, crown of the head comes down. Okay, and as I said earlier, let's see if we can keep those eyes closed so we can focus inwardly. The truth is that everything is experienced inside of us. Every sensation, sense perception is registered in our brain. Our brain is inside of us. Now, again, eventually we realize that the inside and the outside are not really different, and that how we feel inside dictates what we experience on the outside. But until we realize that, let's keep our focus inward. Okay, so moving the spine back and forth enough times till we feel a change in the muscles in our back and our spine. And it may be a subtle change, but we want to feel that it gets easier. The movement gets more free. It's more relaxed. There's less tension there. And at that point, we've pretty much warmed up, and we can tuck the toes and lift up and back into the downward dog. And so in downward dog, we begin to pedal back and forth, stretching out calves, the ankles, the toes, maybe rolling over the toes, circling the ankles, right? Getting those joints working, moving. Modern shoes really are hard on our feet and our lower legs. So it's wonderful to do yoga without shoes on. Get those bones and muscles working. Okay? And then when you're done, I'd like you to come into your full expression of the downward dog. You can still be moving right now, but I'm going to come into my down dog. So, as usual, I like to see the fingers are spread wide. The four pads underneath the knuckles firmly planted in the ground. The hands are about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider. The chest is drawing back toward the toes, feet hip distance, and the heels reaching toward the ground. And it's almost like you're hanging here. And as you hang and pull back, the chest opens up and you're able to breathe even more deeply. So let's take a few nice deep breaths here and just enjoy this. I realize now that I forgot to teach you Ujjayi, and that's okay. If you know the technique, the ocean sounding breath, you can add that in. But it's not essential. You can do this practice without it. The technique is just like fogging a mirror, but you just keep your mouth closed. You make a little sound. Our next exhale, let's walk our feet to our hands. Come forward to the front of the mat, and we'll dangle for a moment in the ragdoll. We just letting the hands rest in the opposite elbow. Just dangling here for a moment, feeling the back side of the body. How does the breath feel here? What do we notice inside? What do we feel inside? All right, then the arms relax and we slowly roll up to standing, stacking the ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. And coming to a nice relaxed Tadasana. Now, if you're a regular student of mine, then you know that I always or usually mention that we tend to hold a lot of tension in our face and shoulders. Okay, so let's just check these areas. You can roll your shoulders forward and back. And then the opposite direction, just loosen things up a little bit. You can open and close your jaw a few times and just let those muscles relax. The breathing should still be deep, it's rhythmic, it's slow. And again, if you can make that ocean sound and have the 3-part breathing going, please do that. Okay, let's start with a sun salutation. So we're going to inhale the arms up, touch palms, and lift the heart. And as we exhale, we come forward and down, placing the palms flat on the ground, bending the knees if necessary, and letting the neck relax. With our next inhale, we'll come to the fingertips, lengthening the spine. And then as we exhale, we'll step back to the top of a push-up for plank pose. Okay, so holding your plank for a moment. Just going to make sure that someone didn't send me an emergency message here. Sounds good so far. Okay, looks like everything is going all right. Okay, so we're at the top of our push-up. Let's drop our knees. Okay, we drop our knees down. And we do this because the most important thing when doing a push-up is what happens in the arms and shoulders. Okay, so we're going to focus on that. Take a nice deep breath. We'll lower down halfway. And we want the elbows and shoulders lined up, elbows basically over the wrists. We're going to take a breath here. It's not easy. And then with the next exhale, we come all the way down. Let's bring our feet together. Okay, our elbows are still in at the sides. We're not bringing them out, but they're in. And then with our inhale, we're just going to lift the head, neck, and chest up. Let's bring our shoulders down away from our ears. Okay, tops of the feet gently pressing into the ground. And the head is a natural extension of the spine. So you exhale, you come down, push back to tabletop, and then tuck our toes and come back to a downward facing dog. Just going to take a breath there in our downward dog. All right, from here, we're going to inhale to our toes, look between the hands. And as we exhale, we step, jump, or float to the front of our mat. With the inhale, we come all the way up to standing, joining palms and lifting the heart. As we exhale, we come forward and down again. Empty the lungs completely. Inhale to a half lift. And then as you exhale, step, jump, or float to, again, the top of a push-up. Okay? So again, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels align. We take a nice deep breath here, and your choice, knees up or down, but we want the same action in the arms. We exhale, lower down halfway, and then inhale, straighten the arms and the legs, up dog. The knees are off the ground, okay? So it might look like my knees are on the ground because my pants are a little bit baggy, but they are off the ground. Otherwise, you can repeat cobra if you're going to put your knees on the ground. And then as we exhale, we come straight back to our downward facing dog. And again, we'll just take a breath here. Notice how the breath is doing. And then let's do another sun A. So inhale into the toes, look between the hands. Exhale, step, jump, or float, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back, bend up and back. And exhale, forward fold, all the way forward and down. Inhaling to half lift, and then this time, if possible, exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, and then exhale to a push-up if you can. Otherwise, straight back to down dog, or use the tabletop for the transition. Okay? Good, let's take a breath here. And as usual, we'll do a few rounds of half breath transitions. I may or may not be able to talk through this. One of the things with half breath transitions is it can be a little bit hard to speak while you're doing them, but we'll see how I do here. So inhale to the toes. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back, bend up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. You could do crow or handstand here. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale to downward dog. Inhale to the toes and fill the lungs. Exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend, up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift. And exhale, bottom of push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. Let's do one more. Inhaling to the toes. And exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. Good. Let's take a couple of breaths. So I don't know how you're feeling over there on the interwebs, but I'm definitely feeling the heat. And they're not called sun salutations for no reason. And so when we do sun salutations, especially at that pace, we should feel that heat. And I know a lot of times we practice in a heated room. This room is not heated. It's not needed, right? Because just doing the sun salutations the right way, we're going to heat up anyway. All right, let's take a look at our sun B. Inhaling to the toes. We'll exhale to the front edge of the mat. We're going to bend our knees and inhale into our chair pose. Okay, so again, we want to feel the legs. So we're sinking down, and again, that's called tapas. It's purification. And we purify in yoga the same way that we purify gold or even our food, right? Why do we cook food? We cook food to cook away impurities in the food, to kill bacteria, things of that nature. So we're doing that. We're killing that which is inside of us that is not pure with a pose like this. And with the whole practice, really, this is why this kind of practice is essential. Yin is great. Yin does a lot for us, but it shouldn't be our only practice. We want something with this kind of intensity in it. And I know probably a lot of you at home think, oh, he would never hold a chair pose as long as he's having us hold it. Why not? Why not? I'll sink in a little more even. Let's make that really intense, right? Feel that heat. I can feel the sweat building up here, okay? Still breathing in the same way. Let's take one more deep breath here, and we exhale, forward fold, release. Good. Inhale, half lift, and we're going to exhale, bottom of push-up, making our way back to our downward facing dog. All right. Let's go ahead and inhale to three-legged dog pose. And let's bend that knee. Let's open up that hip a little bit. Move that leg around a little bit. Stretch the waist. Okay. Then we'll take a nice deep breath. Exhale. Place that foot between the hands. Drop the back heel. Inhale, Virabhadrasana, Warrior One. Okay, so I want your front foot and knee pointing straight ahead. All right. As best as possible. The knee lunges over the heel. So very common, people are doing this. The knee is back, or they're out here. What you do is you just take the foot wherever it needs to be so that the knee is right underneath the foot. The arms are up and back, framing the ears as best as possible. They're as straight as possible. The fingers are energized. Okay, so we're not relaxing the fingers. We're not bending our arms unless we have to. Some people have to. The breath is still deep, rhythmic, and slow. Front foot intersects the back foot at the heel of the arch. Back leg is straight, okay? And I feel this leg working, and I feel the left hip is stretching. That's what you want to feel here. chest is open. Okay? Take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making our way back to the downward dog. All right, other side. So let's inhale our three-legged dog pose. Bend that knee, open up that hip a little bit. Move it around a little bit. Movement helps us know what's going on with our body. Stillness helps us know what's going on inside of us. Okay, so right now this practice is a little bit of both. So let's feel that body. Place that foot between the hands. Inhale, warrior one. Now again, I don't want this to be too easy. I also don't want it to be too hard. Okay, so if I'm hyperventilating, if I'm out of breath, I personally might be a little bit out of breath because I'm talking. Okay, but you're not talking, you shouldn't be at home. You're breathing deep, rhythmic, and slow. You want to feel that heat and that intensity, but without getting out of breath. Okay, so that breath is smooth, it's deep, it's even. Good. We feel that intensity, front leg working, right? Back hip stretching, chest open, right? Let's take one more deep breath here. We're going to exhale, bottom of the push-up. Let's make our way back to the downward facing dog. All right, so you know where we're going next. Do some half breath transitions with the sun B. So inhale, toes. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale the right foot forward, warrior one. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot, warrior one. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, the downward dog. Inhale to the toes. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, right foot, warrior. And exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, left, warrior. Exhale, low plank position. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale to the toes. And exhale to the front of the mat. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, right foot, warrior. And exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, left, warrior. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale to the toes. And exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, chair pose. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, right, warrior. And exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left, warrior. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Good. Now, either hold down dog for a few breaths, take a child pose, or if you're working on an arm balance or an inversion, now is a great time to do it. Take 3 to 5 breaths. Good. All right. I'm going to inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale to a lunge. Keep the back heel raised and inhale to crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. Okay? Sorry, my screen just went blank, so I'm going to have to move my mouse a little bit, get it to wake back up. Otherwise, can't be sure that it's still working. All right. So we're in Ashta Chandrasana. It's like a warrior one, but the back heel's raised. We feel stretch at the front of the left hip. Again, the right leg is working. The arms are straight up and back. So many of you have done this with me before. We're going to do a dynamic version of this pose. So inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, bend the knee, bend your arms, and bend your back. Okay, inhale, come back up. And then repeat, exhale. Go deep into it, stretching the front of your left hip. Good, a few more times. Inhale up and exhale. Nice and deep, not too much, but not too little. 2 more times, inhale and exhale. Crescent lunge. Good, last one. Inhale up and exhale to the lunge. Inhale, arms up, and then exhale, arms out like wings. Okay? Join index finger and thumb together. Take your eyes on one spot in front of you. Find a drishti. Okay? So like a knot of wood or a point. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale, kick off the back leg. Bend that knee, flex the foot, pull the heel in towards your buttocks. Bring your pelvis to face the ground. Have your head, your neck, and your chest facing forward. Okay? So we're balancing. We're also in a back bend. Okay? We're taking a few breaths here. This is called the bird pose. So it's like we're a bird flying through the air. Our foot is our tail. Okay, whoops, lost my balance there. Good, let's take one more breath here. And we're gonna exhale to the bottom of our push-up. And let's make our way back to the downward dog. All right, good. So let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg up and back. 3-legged dog. Exhale, lunge. And we'll inhale to crescent lunge. Okay? So usually you can go wider, you can sink deeper, and you can square the hips more than you can in a warrior one. So see if you can find that. Now, let's take a nice deep breath here. Straighten that knee. Exhale, bend the arms, bend the knee, bend the back. Open the front of that right hip. Again, inhale up and exhale, lunge. Good. 3 more times with the breath. 2 more times. 1 more time. Good. Inhale those arms up and exhale, arms out like wings. Index finger and thumb join together. Take a deep breath. Exhale, transition off the back leg. Bend that knee, flex the foot. Pull the heel in towards your buttocks. Head, neck, and chest face forward. The pelvis faces the ground. Bird pose. Breathing and balancing as best as you can. Take a nice deep breath here and exhale bottom of your push-up. Making your way back to the downward dog. Beautiful. All right. From there, let's come down. Let's take a child pose for a moment. Okay. Just taking a breath there. Nice work, everybody. And I'm drenched, but I'm a sweater. Maybe you're not. They say that women mist and men sweat. So maybe you're misting over there on the interwebs. I'm definitely sweating. So it was a nice workout. Nice and warmed up now. And that should make our back bending much, much easier. All right, so let's come up from our child pose. And we'll come up into this position preparing for a camel pose or Ustrasana. Okay, so we will tuck our toes for now. Our knees are about hip distance, our feet hip distance. Okay, and this is a dynamic camel pose. So it looks a little bit like this. On our inhale, we draw one arm up and back, and then exhale, and then inhale other side, up and back, and exhale. So we alternate. One hand is on the back, one hand is up and back, and then to the other side. Now, if you'd like to go a little deeper, you grab your heel instead of your back. Okay, you're still pressing those hips forward, but that takes you back a little bit further, grabbing the heel. So it shouldn't be painful either way. Okay, so I don't want you to feel that you're hurting yourself doing this. You do as much as you can safely and comfortably. And I believe anyone who is not suffering from an acute injury, meaning that you just injured yourself, I think you can do some version of this, even if it's very, very small. Okay, so learning what you can do safely, that's part of our practice. Even if you have injuries, even if you have conditions, learning how much you can do, because if you're not moving your body, then your body is atrophying. It is getting weaker, it is getting frailer, and it will stop functioning properly at some point if you don't keep using it. So let's use it. Okay, so we're going to finish up with our left hand in the air because we started with the right hand. Okay, and then we'll just come back to neutral position. And let's do our first camel pose. We take our hands to our back. Pinkies are touching. Fingers are together. Elbows are in at the sides. The feet are in the same position. And you can keep the toes tucked, or you can relax the tops of the feet onto the mat if you prefer. Okay? From here, inhale, lift that heart, and exhale as we begin going back. Okay? And let's not bring our hands onto the feet just yet for this first one. Let's just go back. Maybe the chin goes back. Okay, how does that feel? Hips forward, heart lifting. Breath is deep, rhythmic, and slow. Our attention is inward. Good. Inhale. Come on up. And then exhale. Hips to heels, hands to thighs. Close the eyes, relax, and feel the rebound. So in yoga, what's called our true nature has infinite capacity to experience. It can experience anything. It's not afraid of anything. We as human beings, we often have certain things we like, certain things we don't like, certain emotions we like feeling, certain ones we try to avoid, certain sensations we like, certain ones we avoid. So part of what we do with our practice is we're trying to cultivate equanimity, where we are becoming more and more like our true nature, where we can experience anything with equanimity, with an open heart and an open mind, with innocence. Okay? So for some people, back bends are a trigger. They get terrified. It's too much sensation. They feel like they're getting overwhelmed. But that's only if we really identify with the ego. So we can identify with spirit, with our true nature. We find we have this infinite capacity. So let's try another one. We come back into position. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to leave it up to you how far you feel is safe for you. I'll leave it up to you whether you tuck your toes or not. We start in the same way. Inhale, lift that heart. And then again, you can let your chin go back, and you can also grab your heels this time if you want. Hips forward, heart lifted. Breath is deep, rhythmic, and slow. Good. Let's inhale. We come on up, and exhale. Kneeling. I don't encourage you to go into child pose just yet. Okay, child pose is a gentle counter stretch, but it's a counter stretch. And one of the things I learned early on from a teacher I have a lot of respect for is that it's not the greatest way to practice, pose, counter stretch, pose, counter stretch, pose, counter stretch, because that can actually cause more problems. We don't go quite as deep or reach our full potential if we're always doing that. Okay, so we'll counter stretch, but let's just wait a moment to do that. Okay, let's finish our back bends first. So we're going to do one more. Now, if you happen to be a deep, deep back bending person, and you know the poses Kapotasana or Laghu Vajrasana, full pigeon, or little thunderbolt, you can do one of those back bends. I don't have the back for it. Most people don't. So I'm going to repeat camel. Okay. So we come back into position. Hands in position. Okay. Inhale, lift the heart. And you do not need to go further. Maybe this time you do less. Okay. So just feeling into it. What is the body wanting to do right now? And putting fear aside, but being very careful. Inhaling, coming up, and we exhale to a kneeling position. Let's just breathe. All right. From there, we're going to come forward to tabletop. We do a little bit of what I call dog tail pose, or dog wagging its tail. Drop the hips one side, drop the hips to the other side. Get a little counter stretching, side to side gently, releasing the back. Okay, that should feel pleasant. If it doesn't, it might mean you're not doing it quite right or something is off. It should feel like, ooh, that's a nice release for my back from what I just did. Do as many of those as you like. But when you're done, you're going to come back into a child pose. You can have your knees together or apart. You can have your arms extended out in front of you, or they can come back alongside your hips, whatever makes the most sense for you. All right, from there, let's come up back into our tabletop. And we'll do a little bit of shoulder stretching here. So from here, what we'd like to do is walk our hands forward. I'm actually going to move back a little bit. You're welcome to do that as well. We're going to walk our hands forward. Keep our hips over our knees. But we'll walk our hands forward until our forehead reaches the mat. We keep the arms straight and the elbows off the ground. Now, if your elbows are touching the ground, you're going to grab 2 blocks or 2 books or something so that your elbows are off the ground while your hands are straight. Draw your chest down and back, and you should feel a stretch in your shoulders. I want you to breathe into that stretch. 3 to 5 breaths. Good. From there, we inhale, we come back up, and then we'll sit back into a kneeling position. Okay, so my screen went blank again. I'm going to come over here and just touch it so that it comes back. Okay. All right. So now we are kneeling. I'm going to face this direction for this part of it because I think that'll be easier. Okay. So now what we'd like to do is take a twist. All right. And let me make sure that I get this right. So I'm not going to mirror you guys. A little bit too confusing. Besides, sometimes the camera turns things around. So we're going to drop our hips over to the right side. Our legs are to the left. And you may not be able to see, but my left ankle is resting in the arch of my right foot. Okay? Both my knees are on the ground, but my left hip is off the ground, and that's fine. The left hip can come up. Knees are on the ground, and the left ankle is resting in the arch of the right foot. Okay? Now, you can stay there if you want, but if you want to take it a step further, you take the bottom foot and pull it up into this position, which is a half lotus. So this leg, the left leg, is in a half hero pose, virasana. Okay, and this foot is in a half lotus, the padmasana, okay, Ardha Padmasana. Okay, now from there, you have 2 options. First, we all inhale the right arm up, we exhale that hand behind us, and then we inhale the left arm up, and we exhale the back of that hand to the front of our right thigh. Now, the right hand can stay behind you, or you can pull it around and bind the toes. Okay, so that might be accessible to you, and that's a nice way to do the pose. So with each inhale, we want to sit tall, reaching through the crown of the head. As we exhale, we look back over our right shoulder. Nice, deep twists and breaths here. Now, as you hold a pose like this, you want to pay attention to anywhere where you're feeling tension in your body, and you want to breathe into those spaces. From there, let's go ahead and we'll come back to center. Let's return to this position, which is sitting on our heels, which is called Vajrasana. And if you can't do that, if that hurts your knees or ankles, you can sit up on something. You can sit between the heels if that's preferable. You can pad the ankles if they need it, but we're only going to be here for a second. So let's switch over to the other side. So now we're on the other side. Knees are on the ground. Again, very important. The hip can come up. So I think some people might be tempted to do this, right, where they get their hip down, but this knee comes up. It's just the opposite. The knees are down. The hip can come up. Okay, and again, the ankle, my right ankle is resting in the arch of my left foot. All right, from here, if I want to do a deeper twist, I bring this foot up. All right, knees are down once again. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, that hand behind us. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, that hand to the front of the left thigh. Inhale, extend through the crown. Exhale, twisting, looking back over the shoulder. Breathe. Good. Let's inhale. Come on back to center. And then this time, let's go ahead and bring our feet out in front of us. We'll rest back into our hands. Let's just drop those knees a few times from side to side gently. And then let's extend the legs out in front of us, and we'll just shake out our feet a little bit. Good. From there, inhaling arms out in front, and as we exhale, just slowly rolling back onto our back until you're laying back. And once you're there, bring your legs in, give them a nice squeeze, hug them in. And you can make some circles with your knees, rock side to side a little bit. And then grabbing the soles of your feet for happy baby. And then when you're ready to relax, unwinding onto your back. And we will take a few minutes of Shavasana here, corpse pose. Make yourself very comfortable. And as most of you know, we really want stillness for this phase of our practice. So the more stillness, the better. Okay, so bringing yourself around, starting to move, wake yourself up. And then if you'd like to join in our closing chant or mantra, the words are Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Jai Bhagwan. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice this evening. If you can, please join me for the next class, which is a yin class, also available through Nirvana. If you aren't able to stay, please join me every day online while this whole pandemic is going on. I will be offering free donation-based offerings. Some things very short, like a little pranayam, other things like whole classes, as well as Dharma talks and things like that. So you can join me online there. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off for the next few minutes, and I will hopefully see you in the next yin class. Again, if you have any suggestions for me in terms of time, I'm open to hearing it. Leanne and I are both open to, if there's a better time, right now that works for you guys for this class. We can, even do the middle of the day. Who knows? And hopefully this will be available later. I'm going to try and post these. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Mariana. I'm glad you guys could join me for this. Thank you, Sammy. Sorry you can't stick around for yin. Thanks, Uta. It's great to see you all and to practice with all of you. Hopefully I'll see you, at least some of you, in the next class. Namaste.